Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chaburgi, and as usual, joining me, Derek Rolliver from Arizona. And tonight we got Norm with us tonight. How you guys doing?
Doing good, Ricky.
Good to have you here tonight, Norm.
It's good to be here.
So Norm does another show on Back Home Media, In the Free Zone with Norm. Norm is formerly high school football coach, track coach. Was it just football and track towards there at the end?
Yeah, football and track toward the end. I coached a little bit of everything over the years, but
right.
Yeah.
But taking a season off, he just retired in Kansas and got moved over to Oklahoma. So he's actually free on a Thursday night. So we thought he'd hang out with us. But I brought Norm on here tonight to talk about something in our hometown where Norm lives. We had some tragedy with a teen suicide, and there's actually been a couple throughout the state of Kansas. And I just wanted to have Norm sort of open up a little bit. And for anybody listening, we know a lot of teens listen to this show, so if anybody's listening out there, we'd talk about that for just a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in Southwest Kansas, we've had a couple of suicides this week. One here in Elkhart and one in Hugoton. And, when it hits that close to home, you feel like you need to talk about it. And, unfortunately, it's a subject we've talked a lot about in the last year or so. But one of the things that I wanted to do tonight was we talk a lot about, telling people that are suicidal, talking to them about seeking help. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight is if you think a friend of yours is suicidal, what do you do? Okay. And so that was one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. And first of all, talk to them. Be direct, talk openly and matter-of-factly about suicide. Don't think that you're going to give them ideas by talking about suicide. The ideas are already there if they need help. Be willing to listen, allow their expressions of feelings, accept those feelings, whether it's anger, hatred, embarrassment, whatever those feelings are, and be non-judgmental. Don't debate with them whether suicide is right or wrong. Whether feelings are good or bad. Don't lecture them on the value of life and things like that. Just try to listen. Get involved, become available, show interest and support. Of course, if you're talking to them, hopefully they already know that there's interest and support there. Don't dare a person, a suicidal person, to do it ever, obviously. Don't act shocked. That will put distance between you. But another thing, too, don't be sworn to secrecy. Seek support. Don't just keep it to yourself. Seek help from others, especially from professionals. Start with your school counselors, move to administrators, and so on. Offer hope that alternatives are available. But don't offer, glib reassurance. Don't just, be trite about it. And most importantly, probably, is take action. If you can, remove the means of suicide from a suicidal person. If they have weapons, try to get those away from them. If they have pills, try to get those away from them. And that can be a lot of the conversation. Listen, I know, that this is going on, and why don't you let me have that? And okay, and that can be a big part of it too. Get help from people or agencies specializing in crisis intervention and suicide prevention. That national helpline, you'll find that number all over the place. Use it. Even if you are not the suicidal person, if it's a friend of yours, use that resource. Call them and they will help you know how to talk someone through this. All right. Anything you'd like me to add to that, gentlemen?
I think that's pretty much it. I think you're right. A lot of times what I'm learning in life is that when it comes to suicide, I'm always waiting for the person to tell me they need help, when really just looking at signs I've lost 2 people in the last year, and both of them said they were depressed several times on Facebook, and I did nothing about it. said, yeah, me too, and went on with my life. And neither one of those people are here anymore. So I think you're right. I think the first call to action is if you see somebody that's down and out, reach out to them. And you're right. And if it's some serious stuff, get some help. Talk, let if you're in high school or something, let an adult know, hey, I'm worried about my friend.
Absolutely. And I think the main thing is don't be afraid to talk to them about it. Don't wait for them to come to you. You initiate the conversation with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And Brooke,
Awesome.
she's saying she had her best friend committed suicide. I'm sorry to hear that, Brooke. My condolences go out to you for that.
Yeah.
And Kelly, she's talking about a professional wrestler that she loved committed suicide. I'm assuming you're talking about Daphne.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reading about that. It was very troubling. She got on her Instagram and posted a very disturbing video, basically saying goodbye and telling, saying who gets what and this kind of thing. And they desperately tried to find her and search her out. And at one point in the video, she even had a small pistol in her hand. And by the time they got to her, it was too late.
I'm wondering, honestly, like it's always been a problem. We've always dealt with that.
Definitely.
But I'm wondering if this pandemic doesn't have a lot to do with just like added stress. I know that I talked to I'm in the credit repair organization game, and I talk to probably 20 people a day, and like 75% of those people are just wiped out from the pandemic, whether they lost a job, whether they're like 4 months behind on rent. I'm talking about desperation.
Absolutely. And I think
people are making decisions like whether they should break the law to pay that. I mean, it's like we're in a time right now where there's complete desperation.
Yeah, and for kids, it's been particularly tough. The isolation and everything that's come with having school closures and that type of thing. And now, in this area, the schools are back open again now, but I think there are still lingering effects of the mental health problems that some people had during that period of isolation. And I think it's still ongoing and probably will be for quite some time.
Right. And one reason I wanted to bring Norm on tonight is because one thing is there's a little bit of a similarity in what we do here. Norm being an educator, we're talking about missing people where they're missing from their parents. They don't know where they are, but you deal with people that are truancy, missing their education. Maybe they're at home. Maybe their parents can keep an eye on them, but they don't make it to school. What do you feel like? Do you think that's a fair thing to say? Like, do you think that's like the people that are missing school, that are not getting to school, that's just a dangerous area is being missing? Or
well, in some ways, yeah, it is. I mean, in other ways, it's probably not as serious, but I'm pretty sure that you will find a strong correlation between those kids that are truant and kids that run away, or kids that lead the type of lifestyle that could lead to them disappearing. I'm sure you would find a strong correlation between those. And part of that is just, I don't know. Part of it is probably a little bit of a lack of supervision, but there's a lot more to it than that, and I think sometimes it's just when a student is truant frequently, sometimes that mental barrier has already been broken down, that keeps them from separating themselves from society in other ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very important stuff. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. Go ahead.
We've even had some, a few suicides here in town here recently.
Yeah.
Last week or so, and it's really troubling. Really troubling.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Both of my friends in the last year that committed, I was like they told us, So yeah, I think that's Norm's advice tonight should ring true to everybody. It's not going to be on them telling people that are hurting to tell us they're hurting. We're going to have to pay attention to that kind of stuff. But you guys ready to cover some cases, see if we can bring some people home?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, We'll be right back after this. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888.
Yeah, all right, we're going to start with Aubrey Kellen, and real fast, I was going to tell Derek I did send you one that I just finished as well.
Working on it right now. Gotcha.
Cool, thank you. Let me see here. Aubrey Kellen is missing from Wichita, Kansas on September 7th of 2021. She's 12 years old. She is 4'5". She weighs 90 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen in the area of 11,700 block of East Waterman in Wichita. you have any information regarding Aubrey's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call 316-660-9456. Excuse me, 456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help bring her home safe and sound.
12 years old. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Hopefully.
do we know or just pretty much everything you read? Is it they think she like wandered off or maybe
It sounds like they have her just listed as a runaway from the sounds
Okay.
of it, but
I gotta tell you, every
hopefully-
time we talk about these kids that run away, I don't have it in me to like. I'm 38 years old. I'm not gonna go spend the night downtown Phoenix tonight. Not a chance.
no kidding, yeah. Yeah, they thought my understanding is there may have been a potential sighting at some point of Aubrey, but it didn't pan out, I guess. I'm double checking with the Wichita Facebook page.
So it's only been 2
on their
days. So
post. Yeah,
if any of Aubrey's friends are watching, if you know she's safe, at least tell somebody that. You know,
yeah.
if you're not willing to say where she's at least say if she's safe. She's too young.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous out there in Wichita.
Yeah, so far she hasn't been found yet. I was just looking at Wichita's Facebook, and there's nothing there quite yet. So, as far as being found. And I just want to say, you got a lot of people saying hello. I want to say hello to everybody real fast here. Melissa, Lincoln, Kansas.
Don't know where
Kelly's
that is.
here. Emma Casper from Junction City. And Melissa loves your red glasses.
Thank you.
Brooks here from Wichita.
Brooke
Kelly's
comes
from
and hangs out every week.
Missouri.
That's Kelly.
Got Dennis in the house. How you doing, Dennis? Let's see who else we got in the house tonight.
Christopher Unruh is here.
Yeah, and Thomas Landry Schaefer. Hey, Thomas. Man, I saw
Lori
somebody-
Hayes from Hayes.
Yeah. There's Tina Fitzsimmons. There's Audra.
Hey, Micah's here from Ulysses.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and
I see
cover.
that.
Let's go
Nicole
ahead and
Hubbard
cover
here from
AJ.
Salina. Okay, let me find. I didn't grab his flyer, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sorry,
grab it
I'll-
real quick here.
You're good. I'm
You're
gonna go ahead and
fine.
put his
You're
picture up
fine.
on the screen.
Yeah, fine.
Micah Rashawn from Ulysses. Yeah, we've been covering Alexander Perez's case since December. Still no sign of him. The family's saying there's a lot of talk between the family and the investigators. There doesn't seem like there's good news coming from the investigators, but still,
Right.
the city area.
Yeah.
But Ricky, whenever you got that flyer, go ahead.
Yep, I got it. I'm ready to roll. Okay, Alexander Perez missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st of 2020. He's 35, 5'11", weighs 235. He's black hair that he shaves bald and brown eyes. He contacted a family member via telephone on December 1st and advised he would be coming to their home to wash clothes. He never arrived at the family member's home and has not been heard from or seen by family or friends since then. And he had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. Initially, it was believed he may still be in local Ulysses area or in the Garden City area or surrounding areas. As Derek was alluding to, and some information surfaced recently that's not very good. Again, he's 35, he's 5'11", weighs 235, he has black hair that he shaves off and brown eyes, has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms, and he has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest, which thankfully I was sent photos of that complete tattoo, and I put him at the bottom of the flyer there. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's see if we can't bring him home.
Yeah.
He needs to come home. It's been
That's been a
way
long
too
time.
long. Got
Yeah.
Topeka. Yep. My brother's in the house. Topeka's in the house. Amy, Deborah, Larned. How we going on Larned tonight?
I never knew how big Ulysses was until way later in life.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty big town, man.
Hey, from McPherson, Carrie, and Adrian here from Junction City. Got a bunch of the regulars in the house tonight.
Hutchison in the house. There we go.
There you go.
Yep, Hutchinson. All right.
See, Norm probably knows where half these towns are because he's played against them probably at some point in his career.
Yeah,
I don't
know
half
where
these
all of
places
those towns are.
The only one that tonight I didn't know where it was. Let me see. Is Lincoln? I think is what it was.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I know where that is, but yeah, Washington, Missouri in the house. Nice.
Yeah,
All right, Ricky, let's go ahead and talk about charity.
Okay, Charity Bauman. Looking for a
Kansas
fighter.
City.
She's missing from Kansas City, Kansas on September 4th of this year. She's 18 years old. She's 5'1", weighs between 95 and 98 pounds. Blonde hair that was last known to be dyed black and blue eyes. It's believed she may still be in the local Kansas City area or she may be in the Topeka area. If you have any information regarding Charity's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't bring Charity home safe and sound.
Yeah.
Hope we can do that.
Yeah. To me, it's always like when you see somebody's 18, it makes me a little even more worried, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like they're technically an adult. Like you can
Yeah.
basically.
Washington, Missouri. Ooh.
Yeah, I saw that.
Victoria, Kansas.
Don't know where that
Fremont,
is.
Kansas.
Don't know where that is.
I don't either.
Victoria's just east of Hayes.
AJ needs to be found. It's been too long. Prayers for his family. Totally agreed with that, Micah. Completely agree with that. And that's why we keep featuring him week after week after week because we want to help bring him home.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
getting way too long. December. Oh my gosh. This one kind of freaks me out. Let's talk about Connor.
Yeah, Connor Stoneman. I'm looking for him here. My long list of flyers here. Missing from Kansas City, Missouri since April 7th of 2021. He's 13 years old. He is 5'5", weighs 150 pounds, has light brown hair and blue eyes. He walked out of the Restart facility in the 900 block of East 9th Street in Kansas City and did not return. It's believed he may be in the Grandview, Missouri area. He was last seen wearing a red Chiefs hoodie, black shorts, and tennis shoes. If you have any information regarding Connor's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5150 or 816-234-5136 or 816-234-5111. And typically, I don't always usually, include the information about, the Restart facility and that kind of thing, but that was released by the police department, so I did use it.
What is a Restart facility?
I am not 100% sure, but I think it has probably a foster care facility of some sort, I would assume.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. 13.
And tell me about it.
But I mean, foster care, is probably, I don't know. We see a lot of times we see these kids and they're all from like the same areas, and then we do research and find out that this is where a lot of the foster children live, and so a lot of the people we feature, are foster kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like that's why whenever every once in a while somebody we feature on the show come by the chat, and we try to just be like, look, we're not trying. We obviously. Nobody wants their picture on the screen, but we have to find out if people are safe at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen Connor in the Kansas City area, you can call the KBI or the local Kansas City police.
Yeah. Hopefully he's found. Apparently he does have a history of... He has ran before, is my understanding. So
okay. Oh, it's a homeless shelter. See, that's.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead, man.
So Victoria's a little to the east of Hayes and Ellis.
Yeah, Norm said that.
And what were you reading again? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to walk all over it.
Oh no, what was I saying? Oh, she was saying that is a homeless shelter. The Reset. Yeah,
really?
Homeless shelter.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that.
Carrie's saying Restart facility is for internet addiction. I think I need to go
really
there. Norm, can you fill in me for a few weeks? I need to go.
Yeah. Well, I probably could. Yeah.
Yeah.
I uninstalled Facebook on my phone because I was like, get more work done. I think it lasted like 4 days, and I put it back on there. I was like, I'm bored. Victoria, home of the big church.
Yeah,
Hey,
the Cathedral of the Plains there in Victoria.
I think I may have done a funeral there back when I used to do services because I had a humongous nowhere. Is it off that highway where it goes through? Hey, 7? Is it right off of the highway?
Yeah, it is.
All right, that is a serious church.
Yeah, been 9 months. You know,
wow.
AJ Perez, and I sadly I think that's often what happens in these cases, that the info and the it's like the trail just kind of dries up, you know.
Yeah, Christy Ochoa Breeze, I think it's been 9 months since her cousin AJ has been missing. It seems like everything just stopped and no more info or anything coming in. Yeah, that's why we just covered this flyer just a few minutes ago, and hopefully we can get some more information generated.
Yep.
Hey, is Kansas in the house?
Glad to have you with us tonight, Emery.
Let's talk about Gloria.
All right. Gloria Dean. Let's see. I'm looking for her. Oh, there it is. Okay. Missing from Independence, Missouri since May 25th of 2021. She's 15 years old. Unfortunately, I did not have her height, weight, or hair color on their post on the Independence, Missouri Police Department Facebook, and I was unable to locate it. I tried. She was last seen near 3rd Terrace North and Jennings Road in Independence. She's 15 years old. Since the photo, her hair has been dyed bright red. She was last wearing a black Nike hooded sweatshirt, torn blue jeans, and white Crocs. If you have any information regarding Gloria's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Independence, Missouri Police Department at 816-836-3600. And if anybody out there can give me the direction to get the information on Gloria, or her height, weight, and eye color, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. In the meantime, let's help get her found and back home.
Yeah. So when you get hair, when you do the flyers, like, do you try to put like their natural hair color on there? Because I've noticed that before.
I do. I try to put the natural hair color, and then if it's dyed, we'll phrase it last known to be dyed.
Okay.
You know, whatever color it's dyed.
Right.
Yeah.
I was talking to my wife. I was like, back when I was like in high school, like if you wanted to be different and you were a girl, you dyed your hair. But now, if you want to be different, just don't dye your hair. Like it seems like it's the complete opposite. Now, if you don't dye your hair, it's like you're different. It's like, no, I'm normal. But it's so natural now. Like my wife dyes her hair all the time. I think this is Jada. Is that how you say that, Jada?
Yeah, Jada. And I don't know if it's.
I don't know.
It's a Samoan name. I can tell you that straight up. It's Samoan.
Yeah.
Tofano. I'm going to go with Tofano on the last name.
Okay.
This is an unsolved homicide out of San Francisco, and I will tell you why I did it after I cover the flyer here. If I pull up the right darn one. Here it is. Okay, this was just back on July 31st of this year. At approximately 6:45 in the evening, San Francisco police officers from Bayview Station responded to the unit block of Bertha Lane for a report of a shooting. While responding to the call, officers were advised the two female shooting victims, 16-year-old Jada Tefano and her 45-year-old aunt, were privately transported to a local hospital. The 45-year-old victim was treated for non-life-threatening injuries and is expected to survive. Despite life-saving efforts, Jada succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced deceased. The San Francisco Police Department Homicide Detail is leading the investigation. Anyone with information regarding this case may contact Sergeant Francis Graves, number 1734 of the San Francisco Police Department Homicide Detail at 415-553-9099 during business hours, or by calling the San Francisco Police Department 24-hour tip line at 415-575-4444, or by sending a text message to text-to-tip at tip 411 and beginning the text message with SFPD. There is a $50,000 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the suspect or suspects responsible for the murder. My understanding was she was just sitting on a skateboard, minding her own business, and she was shot.
Jeez.
Wow. This is what I read. And
I know why
did
you're
this.
covering this because this Kelly says this is she's related to a wrestler.
Yep, she is Rikishi's niece. Yes,
Wow.
she is professional wrestler Rikishi's niece. Yes.
Wow.
Yep. I ran across a couple of videos on YouTube where they videoed the funeral service. It was pretty touching.
Oh.
You're 16 years old though, just sitting there on a skateboard minding your own business, and life taken right out from underneath you.
This last like 2 weeks I've known about like, I don't know, 10 people that have passed away, and if anything, I am stoked to be here. You know, like every day is a gift for sure, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You never know.
Yeah.
Also related to Roman Reigns.
Sad deal. But yeah, my main motivation, I mean, there was two motivations. It's an unsolved homicide, but, you know, of course, being Rikishi's niece and stuff, you know, I just kind of want to do my part to try to help, you know. And she is also a cousin of current WWE wrestlers Jimmy and Jey Uso.
Wow.
Also related to Roman Reigns. Part of the Samoan professional wrestling dynasty is what they call it.
And a little bit of trivia for you. There are actually more Samoans living in California than in Samoa.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I agree with this one right here. Area every day is a gift for sure. Definitely. And believe you me, I thank God for every day I wake up.
I've been enjoying mornings lately. Just like getting up at like 4 a.m, just standing in my front yard, just like just having a good thing, man. I usually don't get up until like 9 a.m, because I have to be work at 10, but I just been getting up early and really taking it in, man.
6:15 to get my daughter up and get her out the door to school.
Yeah, it's because usually I get up early because I have to take my niece to school. She has to be there at like 7:15, and so I just got to do that every morning. But it's kind of cool to, you know, have a couple hours before work, have some coffee, just watch TV. It's awesome. It's really cool.
And yes, it's true. I am a professional wrestling fan. I have been for about 40 years or so.
You're a fanatic, bro.
I'm telling you.
But your toys are going to be worth a fortune.
I know it. And Ringside Collectibles keeps tempting me with more.
Let's talk about them
anyway. That is one that I just did today, actually. He is missing from Wichita, Kansas on September 9th of 2021. So today, he's 14 years old. He's 5'6", 128, black hair, brown eyes. He was last seen in the 3200 block of South Chase Avenue in Wichita. He was last seen wearing a black t-shirt, red shorts, and white Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding Jordan's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011. Or, of course, KBI 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get him brought home safe and sound. Oh, he's on my, and I kept misspelling his last name when I was making the flyer. I was making it Cordona instead of Cardona, and I had to keep correcting myself. I was like, it's not Cordona, it's Cardona.
And Wichita, we see a lot of cases out of Wichita. Topeka and Wichita seems like the worst.
Kelly, we need to talk.
Another podcast brewing up here.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Back Home Media Show. Wrestling. So this one, Ricky, I think we covered this whenever I first started working with you, but this is a very old case. Tell us about this this unsolved homicide.
What are referred to as the Dolly Madison murders. And they call it that because the scene of the crime was the Dolly Madison Bakery in Great Bend. On September 4th, so we just rolled past at 2002, so we just rolled past the 19th anniversary. At approximately 7:55 p.m., the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department responded to a call at Dolly Madison Bakery, 1004 Harrison in Great Bend. Upon arrival, officers found two deceased females, victims of an apparent double homicide. Police have never said how the women died. A delivery truck driver who found the bodies said they were located in a back office. A witness described seeing a white male approximately 6'1" to 6'2", weighing 175 pounds, having collar length light brown to blonde hair and a slight beard, walking away from the front door of the bakery. The murder weapon was never found and no suspects have been arrested. Officials aren't sure of a motive for the murders, although some money from the store was missing that night. If you have any information on this crime, please call the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120. The Barton County Sheriff's Department at 620-793-1876, or the KBI at 800-572-7463. See if we can't generate some information and help get investigators some information on this case that they may not have had before. And
it either has to be somebody passing through or somebody who's really good at acting and just like local.
And on the right side of the flyer, there's a suspect composite that was released right around that time. Yeah, it's hard to believe this case has gone unsolved for 19 years.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I was away from home at that point, so I never heard about this until I started working with Ricky.
Right.
That's pretty terrible. Yeah, how did they? So the composite sketch? That's because somebody saw somebody like that walking around that area, or
walking away from the front door. So,
walking away from the front door. Okay.
Yeah. The bad part about it is 19 years. I mean, he could have cut his hair and got rid of the 5 o'clock shadow, or he could have went with a full blown beard and shaved his head completely bald. You never know.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
I don't know. It's just I've been watching a lot of like serial killer documentaries, and then when they finally catch these guys, they just tell their story, and they're like, "Yeah, I was in some town in Kansas, and I did this," and you're just like, "Oh, well, that solves it." Like, yeah, there we go, a wrestling podcast.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is 19 years is way too long, and
it is.
Yes, it is.
And just amazing. I mean, it's such a small town. I mean, there couldn't have been that much cash in that store.
Yeah.
I feel like that probably couldn't be the motive. Like, I don't know. Like, and I don't know. You said some of the money was gone.
Yeah. Yes, a little bit of the money was gone. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's hard to say what the actual motive would have been.
Yeah. And the thing that frustrates me is I'm sure there's a ton of information, but the police can't say anything. They can only tell you the basic stuff. They don't want to put, and me, it just drives me nuts. I'm like, just tell me a little bit more. I can fix it. I'm a smart cookie, but that's just the way it works. Like the police can only say what they can say. And it's just really, I don't know. There's a lot of questions you have.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Marissa.
All right, this is Marissa Marie Rose Vasquez. She's missing from Wichita since September 3rd of 2021. She's 16 years old. She's 5'6", 200 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen by Edgemore and Lincoln in Wichita. She was last seen wearing a black Southeast High School hoodie, gray sweatpants with black stripes down the side, and all black Nike Air Force One shoes. If you have any information regarding Marissa's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get her found and back to a safe place.
Wichita again. Yep.
Yeah, said she was wearing a Southeast hoodie, and I see her wearing yellow and black in several pictures. So maybe a Southeast student.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, I like the different pictures as far as the difference.
Yeah.
Most of the time it looks like it's long and straight, but then the one there's some blonde. I don't know if that's dyed or weaves.
Looks like maybe a weave. I don't know.
Trying to figure this one out. We lost you. What do you mean, Kimberly? We lost you. Hopefully, you didn't lose us.
Wichita and Topeka are like epicenters for missing people.
Yeah.
I also think that part of it is that's where all the population in the state is too.
Yeah. And I was also told that as far as like the teens go, there are group homes in Topeka, Wichita.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's why a lot of them seem to be missing from there more than anywhere, because
Right.
they do have a lot of children's homes there.
Yeah. Let's talk about Natalie.
Okay, this is Natalie Thibodeau. And there she is. Okay, missing from Texas County, Missouri since September 1st. She's 16 years old. She is 5'6" tall, 120 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. It's believed that she's with an adult male who's not from the local area, and it's also believed she may be out of state. She did take some personal belongings as well as her dog, which is pictured on the far right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any information regarding Natalie's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, please call the Texas County, Missouri Sheriff's Office at 417-967-5998 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol's Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number 866-362-6422. See if we can't get her found and back home.
Yeah.
So they think she's with an older guy and maybe out of state.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That is very scary, yes.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I see these like video vigilantes on Facebook, these people that set up these grown-ups that are meeting teenagers, you know,
I've seen
public
that,
and
yeah.
stuff, and it's just crazy how many people are out there doing that. Like, it's just
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
is. It's nuts.
Like,
Yeah.
I am teaching my kids stranger danger every day. I'm just like, don't trust anybody. The mailman, nobody. Nobody is safe. I have seen far too many documentaries. Nobody is safe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's interesting on this because those vigilantes, man, they go right up there and they confront them and everything else, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're not afraid to get in their face or nothing. Why are you looking for little kids? You know, it's crazy.
Eastern Colorado and Western Kansas is a dead zone for missing people. That's what I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of empty
Trust no
country
one.
out here. It's easy to disappear.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
for
Definitely.
sure. Like, just outside, like if you just go like, if I just went like outside of my hometown, like 5 miles in the middle of the night and just myself in the dark, I'd probably die of fright. I'm sure there's like so much out there. It's just scary.
Just a lot of empty country. That's all.
Yeah,
I
man.
agree with Kimberly.
Animals.
It's sad that society's become that way. It is.
Yes, it is.
It is.
No, we've covered some Mariah before several
Yeah.
times, right?
Yeah, she had been located at one point, and she's missing again. Since August 30th of this year from Lawrence, Kansas. She's 17. She is 5'8", weighs 135, black hair and brown eyes. She uses the nickname Mia. I believe she's either in Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri, either side of the river there. If you have any information regarding Samurai's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department at 785-832-7509 or 785-843-8477 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get her located and back to where she needs to be again. Yeah, good point, Area. Good point. You can hardly trust anyone. Sad state of affairs. Yep.
Yeah, every time I watch a documentary now, I'm just like, wow. Like,
yeah. Tell you, my former job, before the one I have now, one of the gals that was working, she at the time was like 16, 17, and this guy come up to her, and he was obviously not from here, and was telling her how beautiful she was and how pretty she was, offering her to fly her to his place in Europe and all this other stuff, and wanted her phone number, and I told her, after he left, I said, you do not even need to be talking to this guy. He may have motives that you don't need to be any part of. Yeah, she's, oh, but he was so nice and so sweet. And I say, yeah, that's how they start.
Yeah.
And she just kind of blew me off. And fortunately, I knew her dad, so I got a hold of her dad and let her dad know what was going on. He said,
Good
"I'm gonna have a
job.
talk with her." I said, "Yeah, probably not a bad idea."
Wow.
Good job, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I trust no one. I trust no one at all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're covering a lot of
Crazy
unsolved
stuff.
tonight. Let's talk about Steven.
Alrighty. That was one that kind of got by me that I didn't know about right away, but this was from September 15th, 2009. So here about 12 years ago. Here in Saline County. He was found dead from a gunshot wound shortly after 5 p.m. on September 15th, 2009 by members of his family who were checking on his welfare. His body was found in the house trailer behind the main house on his property at 9041 East Shipton Road near I-70, just west of the town of Solomon in eastern Saline County. Stephen, who had been employed as an over-the-road truck driver for Great Plains Trucking, is believed to have been killed 2 days before his body was found. When he failed to show up for work on September 15th, his employer became concerned and contacted his family, who found him the same day. No other details have been released in Stephen's murder, and no arrests have been made. If you have any information regarding the murder of Stephen James Bettles, please call the Saline County Sheriff's Office at 785-826-6500 or the Saline County Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477. And see if we can't stir up some information on his case and help get him and his family some justice after all these years.
We're Saline County.
Do what?
We're Saline County. Or is it
Yes.
Saline?
That's it's
Saline.
Saline County is Salina, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right there in Saline. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah. I was trying to get to this one. Missed the start of the show. I apologize. Is Norm a guest or joining as a host? Nice to meet you either way, Norm. Thank you for your help.
Nice to meet you too, Emery.
He popped in as a guest tonight, and he's been on the show before, and I'm sure he'll be back in the future.
He hosts In the Free Zone with Norm, another back home media show pertaining around high school sports. And apparently whenever there's no sports being played, anything that shows about anything, whenever there's no sports. But now we're back into sports. So yeah, this is another name. Yeah, Norm should be a regular. How do you pronounce that? Tara?
I'm sure it's
I'm
Tierra.
betting it's Tierra.
Tierra, yeah. Which actually, hang on just 2 seconds before I cover her, because I believe I was informed she was found. Let me double check
really?
here. Let me double check. I don't want to tell you wrong.
Well, let me take it down if she's been found, just in case. If she hasn't, we'll put it back up.
Find the message here. There we go. Yes, she was actually located. It says, "Thank you for everything. We found her. Poster really helped." So she was located. I forgot that I need to update her to located.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Always great when you can update somebody to located.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to know that the flyer helped is even better. So
absolutely.
Yep.
We have to add one more, I think you said. No, maybe. I don't know. Did you send me a flyer after Anthony?
I believe I did. Let me look here. Yeah, I sent you. Yeah, another unsolved homicide one.
Okay, I'll find it. Go ahead and talk about Kenny.
Yeah, this is another troubling one that has bothered me for some time. He's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since November 4th of 2019. He was 69 when he went missing. He would now be 71. 5'9", weighs 175 pounds, gray hair and blue eyes. Sorry about that. Suffers from diminished mental health capabilities and is on disability, but has not tried to access his money since he was last seen. He's been known to somebody got this wrong. They said he was known to frequently visit Salina. He was a regular fixture around Salina for many, 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 many years, back to my teen years. He may have family in northwest Kansas, possibly around Colby. He does not have a cell phone, a vehicle, or any identification. He usually either walked wherever he needed to go to, or he would ride his bicycle. Sometimes he would walk his bicycle. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 69. He'd now be 71. He's 5'9", weighs about 175. Has gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get him found.
So he said that your connection with Kenny is you used to go down to the corner store and watch him play pinball and stuff, or
Yeah, I used to watch him play pinball and video games at like the convenience stores on the corners back in the day when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. And beyond that, I used to see him walk around town with his bike, and he used to frequent Slime Iron and Metal over on 5th Street, and he would pick up extra, scrap metal for extra cash every now and again. So,
nice.
And they hadn't seen him for a long time either because I paid my storage bill over there, and when I stopped in there, I always asked them if they'd seen him or not. And it's no. Oh, would you look at this right here? That's my other. That's my other kid.
That is my other kid.
Yeah.
Well, Kenny, that happened like right before we started the show when he went missing. So,
and apparently, sometimes instead of using his last name right, check, he tends to use Brown. So
really. Well, the only thing that scares me about Kenny is like he hasn't used his like finances, right? He hasn't used any of his money since then.
Yeah. And in case anybody missed the update that I talked about, I can't remember it was last week or week before, Sheriff's Office here in Saline County come out with an update on that partial skull they found, that mushroom hunters found out at, off of Magnolia Road in this creek over there, and they said they were able to develop a partial DNA profile on it, but not enough to make any kind of comparison. So that skull still remains unidentified at this point. So, but hopefully they're going to keep trying to plug a way to try to ID that skull.
I mean, go science. Imagine, like, 100 years ago, you could have found like an entire, body, and it's like, who's this? No idea. How we find out? No idea. Now it's like we've come a long way. So like, hopefully, who knows? Maybe a couple years from now, maybe they'll be able to figure out, who that is. Because, and I'm also thinking like, it's not like there haven't been like battles in the last 100 years. Like if it's just a piece of skull, it could be, 100 years old too. But it'd be very nice to know if they could match that to somebody that's missing, if they could solve a case.
Well, my thing is, the first person I thought of when they said where they had found that was Catherine Adam, because she disappeared just up the street from there. And so that was my first thought. My second thought was Kenny, because last place he was known to be was the Gospel Mission, which is probably half a mile or so south of where the skull was found. So
go ahead and cover Catherine Adam. We only have 2 flyers left and we're done. Go ahead and cover Catherine Adam.
Okay, I can do that too. Let me locate hers. Because that's another haunting case. There's her flyer right there. I was looking in the wrong place here.
Nowadays they can find DNA in a 1,000-year-old skeleton. Wow.
Yeah. But my thing was, though, around the, when Catherine Adam went missing back in 1993. Yeah, it was 1993. But we've had a lot of rain and stuff, since then. And, I got to thinking about it. I thought, well, did they properly, did they do an extensive enough search when when that was found, when the Sheriff's Office and KBI went out there? Because, I mean, that between the flooding or even wild animals carrying it from somewhere, that skull could have come from anywhere. So, I mean, I just wonder if they went far enough this way, far enough that way when they were searching. Because they weren't out there, I don't think all that awful long.
Emery says, I dated a younger guy who had that last name way back. I had never heard it before, so he told, about the roots of the name. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely need to find Megan Fogel's song too. Yeah, and sadly on hers, the guy that knows what happened to her took it to the grave. So
yeah. Did you find Catherine's flyer?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I got it up.
Okay. And of course, Catherine Adam went missing from here in Salina on April 29th of 1993. She was 35 when she went missing. She'd be 63 now. She is 5'4", 120 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen at 4:30 in the morning on April 29, 1993 at the Quick Shop convenience store in the 1700 block of West Crawford in Salina, Kansas. She drove a white full-size Ford van with "She Has Legs" written on the sides in blue lettering. She was the Legs pantyhose distributor here in town. She'd go store to store and restock the Legs pantyhose.
Now the van makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Her van turned up abandoned at 5:45 in the afternoon the day after her disappearance at Russell's Restaurant in the 600 block of West Point Boulevard. The restaurant at that time was closed for remodeling. The van was spattered with mud on the outside and blood-soaked on the inside. A large amount of blood was also found at the storage unit in West Salina where Catherine, the saleswoman for the Legs Hosiery Company, picked up her stock every morning, but there was no sign of her at either place, and she's never been heard from again. It's also had heard that out there at the storage shed where she was last seen at and apparently attacked at, they also did find some looked like evidence of somebody tried to clean up, and I believe it's either bullet fragments or shell casings were found, I believe. Police speculate that someone attacked Catherine when she was inside the storage unit. It appeared they interrupted her in the process of loading the merchandise in her van, leaving the door of the unit open. Catherine was separated from her husband at the time of her disappearance and had a teenage daughter at that time. Her daughter's an adult now, and my understanding left the state of Kansas at some point. Her case remains unsolved and foul play is suspected. If you have any information regarding Catherine Adams' disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 1-800-KS-CRIME or the 785-296-4017. See if we can't get some information going as far as, trying to figure out what happened to her and where she's at and bring her home. Another footnote, that photo of Catherine on the very left-hand side there with the Kansas City Royals jacket was the last photo of her ever taken. That was from a surveillance video as she was backing out the door of the Quick Shop after she got her newspaper and her coffee. So that was the last known photo of her.
And I'm a little too observant for my own good. I feel like what makes it like just double sad is like this is part of her routine. She probably went there every day forever to get her stuff before she went to work. And who backs out of a convenience store unless you're saying goodbye to the people that work there? Like this lady had friends. I mean, you're not friends with the people you buy your soda from, and you say hi to them. Like they're friendly with these people. Like she just looked like, and that's just really sad. Like she was saying bye, like, "Hey guys, see you tomorrow," and it's like, no, there's like some evil right now. So I don't know. I always thought the whole situation was really sketchy. And then they said that basically that there was enough blood that they found at the storage unit and in the back of the van to pretty much assume that she had passed away. So
and they did actually upgrade her case from a missing persons to a homicide case. So
okay,
based on that very information, actually, because they believe there wasn't enough. I mean, there was enough blood to indicate that she possibly didn't survive her injuries.
Right.
So
did they ever talk to the husband? That's who I would go talk to, but again,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say usually that's the first person they talk to, but I'm saying that without knowing anything particularly about this case. But
typically they do. If that was a routine, someone else may have gotten a routine. Also, forget that. Yeah. You never know who's watching. It's creepy. You never know who's watching you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Anthony.
Well, that's another one from here in town. Let's see here. He's missing from Salina since August 17th of 1987. He was 36 when he went missing. He would now be, believe that's still accurate, 62. Let me double check on that one real quick here. So I want to make sure I give you the right information.
Norm, you're a genius, is it right? I'm putting you guys on the spot.
It's not adding up.
Probably 63 now or 64.
Yeah, let's see. We'll find out here. He'd be 70 actually now.
Whoa.
He would be 70 now. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to update that. He's 5'9", 160, black hair, brown eyes. He was last seen by his family at Jerry Ivy Park. Here in town on August 17th of 1987. His wife saw him driving east on his way home from work at Beach Aircraft Corporation, which is now at a whole different flight or aviation place now. She followed him to the park. He stopped near the restrooms and spoke to her. He was surprised to see her. Told her he was not feeling well, and his wife tried to convince him to let her drive him home, but he refused. She left him to go get help from her brother, and when Anthony's wife returned to the park, he was gone. His car was still parked by the restrooms, locked with all his belongings inside, including his lunch from work. He did not show up for work the next day, and he's never been heard from again. His social security number, credit card, and bank accounts have not been used, and he has not contacted any of his family. He was devoted to his two children, and it is uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. He's originally from New York, where his parents, who are Italian immigrants, live. He had been living in Salina for about 9 years prior to his disappearance. Anthony's family fear he became homeless. They distributed missing persons flyers in New York and in Florida, where his sister lived, but he was never found. His case remains unsolved. If you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get some information generated on what happened to Anthony.
You know, like sometimes when people are acting funny and they say they don't feel good, it could be a sign of like really low blood sugar or a stroke sometimes. You know, it could be like a medical thing where maybe he wasn't doing too good. You know, maybe he took off walking and who knows what happened. But I don't know. He either sounded really nervous about something or like maybe something was wrong.
I don't know. But yeah, I have spoke to his wife a couple of times, and she's a really nice lady. You know, I happened to run into her by chance one day. I'd gone into a fast food restaurant here in town, and she actually waited on me, and I saw her name on her name tag, just her first name, and it didn't really click. And then she, I think I was wearing my work uniform. I had my name tag on or something. She saw my name, and she asked me if I was the guy that does, the Kansas Missing and Unsolved. I said, yeah. She said, well, I'm Anthony's wife. And I said, oh, okay, nice to meet you. And we talked for a little bit, but couldn't talk long because there were people behind me waiting. But
right.
It was nice to talk to her. And I visited with her on Facebook a couple of times too. So
just vanished.
Yeah. And I do drive by there every, where that he disappeared from, going back and forth to work sometimes and stuff like that. And I always think about his case when I see those restrooms over there in Jerry Ivy.
Right.
So, wondering what could have happened to him.
Very odd, for sure. We got one more case to cover, then we're going to do a quick located safe, and we're out of here, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Tell us about, how do you say this name?
Heraclio
Hernandez Jr. We should actually have two more. Heraclios and then Cyrus Files we should have.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, this one I just actually got asked to do today. May 24th, 2021, so just a few months ago in Garden City, Kansas. Garden City, Kansas police officers responded just after 11 p.m., May 24th, 2021, to the report of a man shot in the 1200 block of North 9th Street. They arrived to find Heraclio Hernandez Jr. sitting in the street, and he was taken to a local hospital where he later died. The department did not release any additional information, saying the investigation is ongoing. If you have any information regarding Heraclio's death, please call the Garden City, Kansas Police Department at 620-276-1300. To remain anonymous, you can call the Crime Stoppers number 620-275-7807 or text your tip to Garden City PD. Text GC tip and your tip to tip 411 or 847-411 and see if we can't help get some justice for Heraclio and his family. So he can rest in peace as he should. Yeah, Rebecca, she said, I'm guessing those mushroom hunters find a lot of bodies and bones and whatnot. Yeah, mushroom hunters and animal hunters both do.
Yeah.
They've both been known to stumble on human remains. As a matter of fact, during hunting season and in the spring around mushroom hunting season, I have a couple of flyers that I post asking hunters to be aware of their surroundings and they see anything or find anything like that, so let police know immediately. So,
okay, then I got Cyrus's fire.
Yep, Cyrus File. He is missing from Great Bend, Kansas, since August 4th of 2021. He was 17 when he went missing. He's now 18. He's 6'5", 250, red or auburn hair and green eyes. It's believe he may still be in the local Great Bend area, or he may be in the Hoisington or Topeka area. He has a tattoo on his right forearm and one on his left wrist. I'm not sure what those tattoos are. I'm hoping to obtain that information. If you have any information regarding Cyrus's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 800-843-5678. And see if we can't help get him found and back to where he needs to be. That would. And Peggy's asking, do you have a flyer we could share on our social media since fall hunting season? Yes, I actually do have one. And I will get it shared. And what's my kid saying here? Pog. I don't know what that means.
I know someone who claimed to be great at hunting but never came back. Sounds like Norm the other night.
That was me the other night. I sat out there for 2 hours and never even saw a dove.
No, my. And our next show, today's the 9th, so our next show is going to be Tuesday, September 14th. Is when the next show will be.
Yeah, we do them. So this week we're doing it Thursday. Next week it'll be Tuesday, and then vice versa. That's sort of how we do it. We're trying to get on a regular day each week, but this is just how things are.
My kid says Pog means good. Ha ha. That must be some of her Japanese that she's, or some Japanese.
She's learning that, or
yeah, she's trying to learn some Japanese. So yeah, but I will get. And then Peggy's asking if I could share that hunter flyer, and I will share that hunter flyer as soon as we get the show wrapped up and everything. I will get that shared here pretty quick.
Well, Norm, thanks for hanging out tonight.
Yeah,
man.
thank you for hanging out with us tonight, man.
Thanks for having me.
It sounds like some people want you to come back.
Yeah. One thing
you want to, that's fine with me.
One thing I was going to mention is we had a girl from Guyman that was missing over the weekend. And I don't know what the status is. I'll check with our school resource officer tomorrow. But if she's still missing, I might find the information for her.
Okay.
Too. So.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
A lot of people missing.
Yeah.
I know. My kid says it's a streamer term. People use it in Twitch. I'm not too familiar with Twitch.
Man,
so.
we're hip. We're all cool. We know the lingo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with Twitch, so and
my mom used to get a twitch when she was mad. Is that the same thing?
Just look up In the Free Zone with Norm. It's on Facebook.
In the Free Zone with Norm.
In the Free Zone with Norm. It's a Wednesday night show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The big news is Ricky has now been asked to take over the Missing Missouri page. So
Missing People in Missouri, and I've renamed it Missouri Missing and Unsolved.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the big.
Basically, right now I'm just starting out by sharing the flyers posting the flyers from Kansas Missing over to Missouri Missing for right now, since I do a lot of Kansas City stuff and Independence and stuff like that, Liberty, stuff like that. So for right now, I'm just cross posting. And hopefully I can do some digging on. I've already done some research as far as missing persons laws and things like that, as far as whether or not there's any kind of a waiting period or not, which there's not, but they do have some stipulations as far as that goes. But I'll have to dig more into that and see exactly what it is. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, thank you for your diligence. You're very welcome, Peggy. Thank you. Definitely a good show tonight. Definitely. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us and hanging with us for the last hour or so. And always means a lot when you guys come and check us out and watch the replay or listen to the podcast on your podcasts. You like to listen to them on. It's really great. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for caring enough to check it all out.
Yeah. Thank you again, Norm, for coming on and talking about, the suicide situation and
absolutely,
and how to hopefully help curb the trend, apparently.
Yeah.
It's not a good trend, but to help hopefully curb it, because we really need to. I know I've got, both of my kids have had some pretty rough times too here recently, and not to that extent, but pretty rough.
Yeah, it's tough being a kid.
It is.
Like just under any decent circumstances, still tough being a kid. So
yeah, it is.
My ex-mother-in-law used to say that she really didn't like the teen years because you're not a kid really anymore, but you're not yet an adult. You're kind of in that gray area in between.
Yes,
You're trying to find your niche of where you're supposed to be at.
Kind of bump into a lot of things.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I never thought of it in terms when I was a teen, but it does make sense. And I agree with that.
Yep.
So, but anyway, thank you again, Norm. Thank you, Derek. And thank you, everybody, for hanging with us. And until next week, and we'll talk to you guys later. You guys stay safe. God bless. Take care and have a great night.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought, and a person the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arm, to this playful assault, to this race in this arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death or water, left with all the thorns, with the petals gone, settle on the breath of autumn.